Okay. Right here or right here? Right here? Okay. All right.
Nowadays, the conversation in voiceover is almost entirely about AI. I love technology and I follow technology. But for a lot of us, there's a fear that AI is going to take over our business. Then there are the people who are the optimists. I'm neither an optimist nor a pessimist. I just follow the trends. I look at what technology has done before, and I look where technology is going, and I reach my conclusion. And I wonder if people are truly listening and observing, studying history, and seeing what's happening. And more so, I wonder if the audience even cares. I'm Dane Reid, the voiceover guy. Check me out. This camera, right? No, this one. That's what I thought.
What's going through your mind?
Technology has always replaced human beings. That's what it's always been about. You create an emerging technology and you take the jobs of people who are doing those things. Listen, at one time there was horse and buggy. Then there was the car. No one has issues with the car. I remember being a kid and there were elevator operators in some large buildings. Now, if you go to buildings, there are largely no elevator operators. People who grew up in the 90s, 2000s will know nothing about these kind of things. You know, I talked about in a blog earlier that I posted on Voiceover Extra, which ripped Voiceover Extra, about the fact that I used to have a yellow phone attached to the wall as I was growing up. And this phone was a staple in our house. And it got to a point where that phone was hardly needed anymore. Technologies emerged and they took over the roles of the telephone operator that I remember at one time we used to have to call. But then there was no need for them. There was the yellow pages, the white pages. Then there was no need for them because you could look it up on the internet. Then there was no need for that because you could scroll through your phone, get the number instantly, press a button, and dial it. Technology has always taken over something that people were at one time comfortable with. We've grown used to being comfortable with voiceover. This has been my bread and butter for almost 22 years, and I've done really, really well with voiceover. And I know so many people who have done really, really well with voiceover. AI is a threat to that and may actually just wipe that all out. And it's not just because of the technology exists. It's because the audience doesn't know the difference. I'm somewhat guilty of this. I love documentary work. A lot of times, call me weird, I fall asleep listening to documentaries on cosmology and about science and about health and all of the things that I'm interested in. But a lot of times those documentaries are no longer voiced by prominent voice actors. Many of those voiceover roles are being taken over by AI. And the audience is still listening. These videos are getting thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes even millions of views because the subject matter is important and people aren't listening for the voice. I walked into my mother's house one day and she was watching some things on YouTube. And that very familiar voice, which I won't even say the name of the person, but that very familiar voice that is now AI-ified is on every video nowadays, explaining information, and people are just consuming the information as opposed to paying attention to that very pleasant voice that used to be there. And as I watched my mom watch this video, I realized she didn't care about the voice. I'm a voiceover guy, and she's deeply connected to me. I don't think a lot of people pay attention or care about who's voicing it. Certainly, I've gotten great call-outs for my voice, for work that I've done. When I replace the last voice on WCLK as the imaging person, There were a lot of compliments about the job that I did, and I don't know if an AI could have done the same thing. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not sure that those kind of compliments are ubiquitous. One of the things that give me pause about the way that people think about AI and voiceover is the fact that for so long, I would describe my job and say, hey, I do voiceover. And the first thing that people would ask me is, what is that? I think over the last few years, people have become more aware of what voiceover is, but still, there's a greater ignorance about what we do. People just consume and they go about their day, but they never think, who was that guy? I walk through the airport and I hear the voice that says, hey, please, stand behind the doors while we close. And no one ever thought before who was that voice. Now they've replaced it with a local celebrity voice here in Atlanta, and people know that voice. But that's because it's a famous voice. And I'm not even sure that the millions of people who transfer from one flight to another who never lived in Atlanta would know who that person is or pay that much attention to it. And he does an excellent job. I'm not sure that AI could do that. But if it could, would people even notice? What I want to say about this is to the voiceover community. Don't get too comfortable with the argument that AI will never replace us. Technology keeps moving. Things that we do in terms of farming, transportation, all of these things are so much easier because technology stepped in and took over the hard roles of people. Now, technology is taking over a lot of creative roles. I know, for instance, if you're watching this video, you're looking at a thumbnail that I made using AI. Years ago, I used to pay $60 to have one thumbnail made. Then, when Fiverr came about, I found a guy who was reliable and good, and he charged $7. And now, I can do this myself with no design background at all. And so I can keep pumping them out and I can do more videos and I can go about my day and not think about it. And that's the way a lot of clients are thinking about it now. They're thinking about faster, they're thinking about good enough, and they're thinking about going about their day to the next project. We in voiceover have to add something of value to our clients, or we will be extinct in the same way that the elevator operator who worked in a lot of buildings in New York are no longer employed. So that's food for thought. If you like this video, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm Dane Reid, the voiceover guy. If you need voiceover, don't go to AI. Go to www.danereidmedia.com and I'll answer all your questions there. If you want to leave a comment underneath about this video. Hiring is only to go to my voiceover website. So if you want to hire, that's where you go. And also subscribe to this channel. I know. I left a lot of instructions. You're smart. You'll get it. I'm Dane Reid, the voiceover guy, and I'm gone. Peace.